Hello, this is Kevin with Banggood Inc. And in this session, we're going to continue on with our bid day challenges. So in our last videos, we kind of did a little math challenge, finding bids that were comparable. And then we talked about how do I make sure the bids are more accurate by being able to pull up a detailed estimate to help supplement things and clarifications to check scope for completeness. In addition to all those steps, it's also common for estimators to have to worry about business enterprise types of what percentage of the job is going to minority or women-owned or veteran participation to this project and so forth. So that's what I want to take a look at in this session, is just take a look at some of the other challenge being the statistics behind the job. So I'm going to go to the same bid day challenge that we looked at earlier. So this is where we're basically putting in those different bids and find the low combination and so forth. And as I sit and look at each bidder, I can see other fields associated with those. So maybe I could see, I want to see what their bonding limit is. Maybe I want to see what their ranking is. Maybe we go back and rank our subs from a 1 to 5 level. Maybe I want to see if they're a minority. I think mine is business enterprise type. So forth. Maybe I want another contractor's license or different things of that nature. And then when I hit update, it'll basically show me that information down here. So as I'm looking at subs, trying to figure out who to use, these are all things that might be critical to, do we know what their bonding limit are? Have we worked with them before that we've got a bid ranking? Because maybe that's another reason I might pick one subcontractor over another of things that aren't necessarily related to the dollar, but related to that company's past history with us. Or have they got the bidders package sent to us that has all the information we need to be able to create them a contract type of thing. So in this case, I'm going to go back to my summary page. And this is where we saw basically whatever my bid matrices may be, the different scopes of work, who's the bidders awarded with each section of work and things of that nature. And over here on the right-hand side, I've got a button here called Statistics, where I can set up what are other things that I need to track on this project. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Statistics button. It tells me that there are no statistics defined at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and create one. And I'm just going to go ahead and call mine Business Enterprise. And this pulls up all those different attributes, so I can tell it what attribute is associated with my system. So I've kind of been playing around with different things. So I've got a couple different variations of minority and business enterprise types, but this is the one that I'm currently using. How do I want to compare? A count of how many bids I've accepted from each one and so forth, or a dollar amount. So in this case, I want to look at dollars. Do you want your self-perform or your budget values to be included? No. So then down here is all my different enterprise types that I've got set up in my environment. So I've got a minority, small business, veterans, and women-owned and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to put this one and this one and this one into motion. And I'm going to just give it some sort of starting off, and I'm just going to pick 5% for all of those at the moment. So let's say that that's my participation is 5% minority, 5% veteran, and 5% women-owned businesses. So as I take a look at this, I can tell right now that the current way that I've got the bids selected, I'm matching my minimum. So here's how much dollars I needed, 5%. I've got about 13% so far of minority. A small business, I don't have any companies flag as small business, but it didn't have a requirement on it. Veteran, same way, 5% needed, 14,000 is where I'm currently at. 5% needed, 30,000, almost 45%. Women-owned business participation on this project. So that kind of shows me where I'm going, where I'm at making those requirements. Now, with that being said, I'm going to right-hand click up at the top, and I'm going to tell it to duplicate this screen, so that way I can be in this same project on multiple windows. So if I was doing this for real, this is where I'd be utilizing my couple other monitors, where I drag one of these over to one of my other monitors. In this case, because I only know how to record one screen at a time, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of has one of these up here a little bit, and I'm going to kind of keep this one here then. And let's go ahead and get rid of that at the moment. And I'm going to go back into my bid metrics here. And I might even move this over a little bit farther so I can get a little bit more oomph on this. So basically what this is attempted to show is this is where I can actually see real time what my enterprise statuses are with where I'm picking dollars and so forth. So I'm going to go back and just say I want to use one sub, which is going to throw all the money to basically one contractor. And at a quick glance, you'll see that over here's where it went ahead and said that was the lowest combination for one sub. But if you notice, all my participations now kind of turned into the red, except for minority-owned businesses, because that's the only company I'm using at this point. So this is where you can actually see real time, even where you're at in your selection of process. So there again, if I want to say, well, what does it look like if I got by with three might get reduced the number of subs I have to work with, but it also, is it covering enough on my veteran-owned business? It looks like it's covering the other ones and so forth. So there again, maybe I could go back and find either by looking through Dex jumps. So that way, if I want to kind of find different levels of what makes my analysis, I could kind of flip through and find it that way. I could also go back through and I can also go back and maybe base it on somebody that says that they, which one am I looking for? A veteran. I don't know which one's a veteran right offhand. Yeah, so this one is. So let's say for some reason, this one matches my requirements. So maybe I'll go ahead and say this one's required and so forth. So now if you notice, that was enough to get me in line with it. So, and it's a little different color. So you'll see this color green is basically where they've just selected for low. This lighter color green is basically letting me know that that was a required one. And earlier we had kind of taken a look at an excluded one and so forth. So just some of the different colors again on that side of it. So very powerful, real time. I can sit there and see exactly where I'm at on this bid. There again, trying to come up with the right combination of bidders to get all the different issues that are all driven on bid day, that I've got to do all this in a last minute type of rush. This is one of the most powerful ways of getting all that analysis done, of finding the most complete numbers, being able to keep on top of my other statistics and enterprise types along the way and so forth, which is a big challenge for contractors to flip all those different numbers around. Thanks for watching.